What's up, guys? You are on the air and off the books with Beth Ann and Samantha, and today we are coming on here and we're just gonna talk to you guys just about what's going on.
Everything that's happening with our reading right now and reading in general.
The drama in our lives. Just kidding. We won't be talking about that. Sorry to disappoint you. We did get in, we have like this little new desk setup happening right now. It's actually Ben's desk, but
It's super cool. All really profesh.
Yep, he's gonna get us a little, I know you guys don't see us very often on the camera, but occasionally you do when we have some authors on here. So he's gonna get us a little BNS
signage in the
backdrop situation happening. Super excited about that. So
thank you, Ben, for considering us when you set up your desk.
yes, shout out to Ben,
For being the best.
the real OG.
MVP. Yeah,
Yeah, OG MVP.
all of it.
So it's time to get serious.
Yes.
I read a book.
Oh, no.
The book
God, here
that I
we
have
go.
read is Fourth Wing,
No.
the first book of the Empyrean novels by Rebecca Yarros.
Is it going to be a trilogy?
I hope it's a 47-page series or 47-book series that never ends.
Okay. Guys, if you are living under a rock, you haven't heard about this, which is fine, because I'd like to live there with you. But all over social media, if you are following any kind of book accounts on, you name it, TikTok, Instagram, book or YouTube, which they call them BookTube, Bookstagram, Book Talk, all that, whatever.
Yes.
Everywhere you look, this is a literal phenomenon. It has been so hyped before it was even released, and it has had so many 4 or 5-star reviews before it was ever out for anybody to actually get their hands on. From all of the advanced readers copies that people got, people were literally falling over themselves for these books. The sprayed-edged first editions that you could just go into Barnes & Noble when they first released for $25 are selling for literally upwards of $150 to $225 a book.
Yeah. More than that now, I think.
And it makes me kick myself because I remember walking in to Barnes & Noble, picking that book up and being like, nah, I'm not going to read this. And now I could, quintuple my profit off of this book by reselling it. Like, you shouldn't do that. Let's be honest. You probably shouldn't do that. But okay, but if you wanted to, you could
This
make
is how much you could make.
Okay, like that. But that's how crazy this book has been hyped, and people are loving it. There are some booktubers that I'm watching or that I follow, and some bookstagram accounts and stuff that are just now picking this book up and are still giving it 5 stars. Their favorite book of the year.
It's crazy.
And it is a romance fantasy, right?
Yes.
And is it adult?
It is adult.
Okay. Some people were conflicted that it was young adult, but I don't think.
No, the main character, she's 20 years old. So the book is about a 20-year-old girl. Her name's Violet Sorrengail, and she just, living her life. And I think when you come of a certain age, you can test in to be into these different quadrants of the Basquiat War College.
Yes.
So she's dead set, like, scribe quadrant. Like, she's just gonna go for the chill section of the quadrant. She's not gonna go, like, ride the dragons or anything like her sister. Her sister's a dragon rider. So she is just living her little quiet life among her books and all that, just like me. So now her commanding general, also known as her mother, she has ordered Violet to join hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of the Navarre dragon riders. So her mom was like, no, ma'am, you are not going into the scribe quadrant, which is a tongue twister, let me tell you. You are going into the writers, So.
Because her dad was a scribe, right? I do know that much.
Yes, her dad was a scribe.
And she wanted to follow in her father's footsteps. But her mother's like, well, since your dad's gone, I think, right?
Yes, and her brother died
Yes,
as a dragon rider.
Right.
Yeah.
I do remember that much. And she was just like, nobody in this family is going to be any scribe, so you're going to go to this college. But the problem with that is
She has got some sort of health issue where her joints disconnect, and she's very like brittle, fragile. So she's like, I'm literally gonna probably die right away. So goodbye, everybody.
Because I think it's like a dog eat dog thing.
Yes.
Like you go into this college and like there's only can be so many people picked
Right.
to be dragon riders, right?
And if you're weak, you better just bank on dying. Like,
Because they will kill you for these positions, the students.
yes. So they have just a few dragons, so that's the whole reason that they have to go through these trials, because they've got to eliminate people because they only have so many dragons to bond with the riders. So basically everybody is like, she's now a target on everybody's back because which I guess I don't understand, but I kind of get it because she's like the weakest link. So
everybody wants to take her out first.
Plus, she's also like the daughter of like
the general, the big
general.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like she's like easy to take out. There's a lot of glory in taking her out because she's of the family she's in.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So
the
little guy.
She meets Xaden Ryerson, who is the son of the people that killed her brother. I believe it is. His family killed her brother, and then Violet's family killed his parents. Both of his parents, I believe. I might have gotten that wrong.
That much.
So they meet, and Xaden is like, you're literally like mine. I'm going to kill you. So get ready. Watch out.
So is it like an enemies to lovers situation?
Yeah. But it's not like, I wouldn't say it builds super slow like normal enemies to lovers. He's like immediately like, nobody touch her, like she's mine to deal with, and then kind of like finds out like how fragile she is, and there's other stuff going on behind the scenes that would spoil the entire book that will click when you read like the last page of kind of why he got attached to her immediately. So yeah, so basically she gets to what is called, she has to cross this parapet, and it's like, in my mind I picture it as like a big long bridge of like floating rocks.
Okay, so do you want to know what I picture when I read this part of the synopsis?
Oh no.
I picture Shrek and Donkey trying to get to the
dragon. Okay, yeah, I kind of see that.
Bro, I'm so sorry, but I just cannot, like, and all I can see is Donkey, like,
I do. Oh my gosh, now I'm gonna
shivering
picture
water.
that. That's funny because yeah, that's kind of honestly how it is.
Dude, that's all I can ever think.
It's kind of tragic though. Like reading this part, this isn't really a spoiler because it happens so quickly. But like everybody's crossing this parapet, and it's so funny because Violet is just like, everybody's trying to like focus on not falling, and Violet's like, the only way I'm not gonna fall is if I like start spitting facts out. So she's like spitting like all these rules and facts about like the Basquiat War College and like the Writers Quadrant and the Scribe Quadrant. She's like, and everybody's like, shut up! And she's like crossing this parapet, and then like you just like, she like meets these people and they just start falling off and dying. And you're like, what the heck? I thought they were gonna be with us till the end.
Dude, savage.
Yeah, but it's really good. I really, really liked it. And then like of course her best friend that she had been best friends with forever, he is one of like the leaders of the Writers Quadrant when she gets there. And so he's got a thing for her, and she's just kind of like, I don't know if I have a thing for him because I've never thought of him that way. And so it's kind of like a love triangle for a hot second, but you definitely choose a side really fast because you see straight through this guy. Like you only care about
the one dude.
Well, you only care about the her friend Dane literally only cares about following the rules and like making the writer's quadrant succeed, and he's like, I don't care enough about you to put you first. It's always
he's just
going to
about
be
winning and
Yeah.
success and like my job and like
the
you're
job
just
comes
secondary.
first.
Yeah.
And she's definitely like second on that list.
Yeah, I was about to say I watched a review for one of my favorite booktubers, and she was just like, it's not a spoiler to say that like this guy is not it, because he's written that you can tell that he's just in the way of them
Yeah.
like being together or whatever. So that's not a spoiler either. So I do know about some of this. I have done a lot of looking into this book because when I first saw it, I didn't think it was romance
Yeah.
because it never was advertised at first as romance
Yeah.
until it blew up and people were like, yeah, this is like fantasy romance big time. Like people have compared it to like Sarah J. Maas. They've compared it to Divergent, but like more mature.
I would
like,
say this is like a mature Divergent. A lot of people compare it to the Hunger Games. I did not get that vibe at all.
maybe just the quadrants and the fighting and stuff.
Maybe. I definitely got like Divergent, like Dauntless vibes, like that kind of situation. I picture them all like, have you seen Divergent?
I have,
You know,
yeah.
like when they're all like underground, like in the Divergent area, like
Yeah.
that's kind
like the cave thing, and then they're
of cave
all like
vibes happening.
getting tatted up and like
Yeah,
looking like
yeah, that's
shredded out.
yeah. It's like an adult version of that, but like better. And like I would say like Xaden is not like your typical enemies to lovers dude. Like he's just gonna tell Violet how it is, and I mean like also protect her, but like also not like baby her and be like, don't anybody touch her, and she's fragile, and you can't do that, you'll get hurt. He's like, no, you're coming with me, and we're gonna fight these people over here, and you might die, but you know what? I'll be here with you.
Whoa. So what did you give it?
I gave it a 5 billion out of 10.
It's her
Honest
favorite.
review.
That's hilarious.
And then the sequel comes out in, which I've already pre-ordered because this whole release was a fiasco. Like, it literally went within, like, when it shot off on TikTok, it
You can't find
ceased
a
to
copy.
exist within,
Yeah,
like,
you can't,
a
you-
day.
And they reprinted it all without the sprayed edges, and you
Yeah.
still can't find a copy. And they're reselling them online for like $40-$50 for just the regular
Yeah.
hardback without, and they're just, it's
Which
a
is
second
crazy.
release,
Yeah.
second print, everything. So I told Samantha that when it came out on paperback and I can get my hands on it, that I would read it.
Yeah,
But that's
I'll
going to be a
probably
while.
buy a paperback copy as well that I will, like, if I reread it, that's what I'll read, the paperback one.
Yeah,
But
because you have the sprayed edges, don't you?
I actually bought a blank or a regular copy from a girl, and I had her spray the edges for me. So, yeah, I didn't get an OG, but that's okay. But I also want to try to like spray my own edges. I did, however, order the special U.S. sprayed edge version of Iron Flame, which is the sequel coming out in November. I think it's November 7th. And it's funny because it's coming out the same day as, like, I think it's the Aragon book, a new Aragon book.
Oh.
It's like the exact same day. They're both coming out. Dragon books. November
That's
7th,
interesting.
Dragon Day. But I did order the US sprayed version of that, which is just black pages, which is fine. But,
She could have done a little bit more, I think, for everybody.
well, she said that if she were to do the design, it would have, like, pushed it back, like, almost half a year or more to get those released.
Well,
So I ordered that, and then I ordered the UK Waterstones, and those are like designed edges. So
Waterstones is the you know, that's the secret. You know,
Yeah.
if you go online to that, and this is off the record here, if you want
Don't
special
repeat
edition
this.
copies, the UK covers generally are so much more beautiful than US
They are.
versions. And if you go online to Waterstones, you can find signed editions for relatively cheap with the special covers and things like that on them.
yeah, and there's
we hit that up a
also
lot. There's also Blackwell's, which is
Yeah.
also a place that free ships to the U.S. Not that you need any excuse to buy more books. Sorry for all your husbands and wives
Yeah.
out there.
But you can also, people on Etsy are like doing custom like sprayed edges, which are really cool. I want like all of them, but
it's a thing now. It's a phenomenon in the book world.
Yeah.
Sprayed edges, special editions, collectors things. Authors are going to self-publishing now, which is
Yeah.
a new phenomenon in the book industry. And indie authors are becoming a lot more successful on their own than going through like Tor and
TikTok is
things
like
like
really like promoting.
Tor, Scholastic, you name it.
Yeah, especially like Kindle Unlimited authors are doing like super well right now because of TikTok.
Yeah.
Because everybody right now is into like the dark romance situation, and that is like all of Kindle Unlimited.
But fantasy romance has shot into oblivion.
Yeah.
It is the thing right now. People are, and you have to be really careful if you're somebody like me, because when you look up fantasy books, automatic it's going to be fantasy romance. And
Right.
personally, I don't consider that fantasy. I consider it romance, like the bottom, like the genre. So I have to do a lot more digging online and things to be able to find just fantasy recommendations, because usually they call it romantasy now.
Yes, the new
That's the
genre.
new genre terminology that they're coming out with. But
Romantasy.
yes, but it's a lot of grimdark romance fantasy, or right now cozy fantasy is really a big,
Yeah.
huge thing. Very, very interesting to see the trends and stuff like that, and how social media has really impacted the way that things have, like the pendulum has swung.
Yeah, which I think is good because, like, you know, you have all these like popular authors like Brandon Sanderson, Sarah J. Maas, you know, that obviously like bank every single day, get all the
Dude.
money, but then like you've got like these authors that have like these great books that nobody knows about because, I mean, nobody knows who they are, but now TikTok knows who they are, and
They're getting all this publicity.
yeah.
There are so many fantasy authors, and that's one of the things that I was going to talk about today that I've been able to recommend, because I've been able to contact some of these authors to review different books, like the Songs of Chaos series by Michael Miller. The first book is Ascendant. We're getting that in, and it's a Dragon Rider book as well. So I compare this to if you're wanting to read something like The Fourth Wing, but you're not wanting to read the romance aspect of it, this is that series for you.
Yeah.
It's more hard fantasy. It's a little grim. It's about a servant boy who stumbles across a hurt dragon egg, and the dragons usually kill off the young that are weak, and he decides to go against all of the laws and save this dragon, and the dragon ends up blind. And he becomes this fighter for this cause, and he rides a blind dragon, and it is phenomenal. So that's Ascendant by Michael Miller. And then Ebony Gate just released by Julia V. and Ken Babel. And that is like a John Wick. So it's set in San Francisco, but it's like a girl version of John Wick, but with demons and zombies. And I haven't started it yet. I'm really looking forward to getting through it. And it is also available in our library and on Libby as an ebook. Maine and South has a copy of Ebony Gate coming in, so check that out if you're looking for something that's also more regular fantasy. So our library is through Dawn, who's an awesome selector who I talk to all the time and bother about buying all these indie
I know, I'm about to
books
bother
and
her
published
too.
things as well. And she's getting a lot of these things in. So those are some new books that are coming in to consider. Also, Harbinger of Justice is an indie author that we were able to get in that has written another higher fantasy book if you're interested in something like that, trying something new. Those are some things that you should definitely look out for, because I think sometimes we think that if they're not taken on by these, and these people do get picked up by these bigger publishers over time.
Yeah.
If you're self-publishing these things and going out on this limb or whatever, that it can't be good. Like that, oh, they're self-published, so this is not going to be good quality or content. And it's not true. You have to go and you have to read these things. And so we're trying to look into more of those things, look
Yeah, request
pick
less
up
popular authors that are
Yeah.
starting to become well known, but like a lot of libraries don't have because they're just not, what you would request.
So definitely look into these books that we're saying now,
It's
because
funny.
I think that you will really like them.
It's funny because Rebecca Yarros was like not that big. And then
Right, because she's written books previous to this.
she usually writes just like contemporary romance.
New adult, right?
No, just like
just
straight
regular-
up like I think most of them are like war romance stories.
Oh, okay.
I'm reading one
So
by
this
her.
is her first jaunt into fantasy.
I
romance.
believe so, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And so, like, I'm currently reading her book In the Likely Event, which I'm going to request for the library because obviously, like, she's blowing up and people are crazy about this book too. So we need to get all of her books in. But it's funny because she was just so shocked, like, how much she blew up. And she's just like, I'm so overwhelmed by, like, all of the feedback. I think she's got right now on Amazon, she's got a 4.9 for Fourth Wing, and it's got like 50,000 reviews.
It's like I'm telling you, it's a phenomenon. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's why I have to read it, even though it's romance. And then another thing too is if you've heard of Legends and Lattes, that was originally a self-published book that got picked up by Tor.
Yeah.
So the original copies of that went out are actually his self-published copies of the book. So don't discredit, dig in and really find some new things. Like, really, like, roam around and look out for some good authors because these people are putting out some amazing work. They really are.
Yeah, I just recently got, which I'm really excited about. This is probably, besides The Fourth Wing, this is probably going to be the book I'm most excited about for 2023. It's called Assistant to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Mayer. And I got to receive an arc of that, which this book comes out in August 30th. And so this book is about basically a girl that she gets a job as obviously an assistant to the villain. So I'm gonna read this because it says, with ailing family to support, Evie Sage's employment status isn't just important, it's vital. So when a mishap with Renandon's most infamous villain results in a job offer, naturally she says yes. No job is perfect, of course, but even less so when you develop a teeny crush on your terrifying, temperamental, and undeniably hot boss. Don't find evil so attractive, Evie. But just when she's getting used to severed heads suspended from the ceiling and the odd squish of an errant eyeball beneath her feet, Evie suspects this dungeon has a huge rat, and not just the literal kind, because something rotten is growing in the kingdom of the Renadon, and someone wants to take the villain and his entire nefarious empire out. Now Evie must not only resist drooling over her boss, but also figure out who is sabotaging his work, and ensure he makes them pay. After all, a good job is hard to find. I think this book is going to be so good, because I have not read a book like this ever.
I was about to say, it sounds like she's completely the villain too.
Yeah, she's got like trapped into this like job with this like obviously murderer.
This is right up your alley, dude.
And it's gonna be so good.
You're gonna love it.
It's gonna be so good, and I'm so excited. I'm literally
When
gonna
does it
start
release?
this book tonight. August 30th.
Are we gonna get it in?
I'm gonna order it. I'm gonna be like, order in all caps.
Please.
This is the most important book of August.
That's awesome. You have to look out for that one as well. The only thing right now I'm reading, I'm starting Ascendant, and I'm going to have that done, hopefully, to be able to talk about it on here. And then on our blog, dun dun dun, we have a blog. If you didn't know, now you know. khcpl.org/podcast is the blog, and we get on there and we read things that we don't talk about on here all the time, or we mention and we don't review. And we rate them, give you links to everything where you can find everything on Libby Hoopla, our catalog. And we tell you what we think. Some things on there, our Fourth Wing is on there. We did talk about that today, but if you really want to know specifics and where you can get it, it's there on the blog. We also have reviews over Dead Silence, things that we normally wouldn't read together are on there. Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher, that's coming out in October, is on there. My review of that, which was the most stunning book I have ever read. It literally spoke to my soul.
Spoke to it.
I have a signed ARC at home of it. I loved it so much.
Frame it. Put it in one of those boxes with the lights.
Shadow box. Yeah. It is T. Kingfisher outdid herself. She really did. It's a novella, but it's a retelling of Sleeping Beauty from the perspective of the girl who puts the curse on Sleeping Beauty. And her name is Toadling. And she was stolen as a child and raised by Fae. It is phenomenal.
Sounds like something I would like.
I'm definitely going to reread it when it comes back out. I'm going to get a hardback copy and a paperback copy of it.
All the copies.
But that's on there.
We also have movies and TV shows that we're going to be reviewing.
Tanya has something on there now, who is our AV librarian. She's going to review for us. And then Ben is also going to submit some reviews when he has the time. He is very swamped, but he's going to. And then Justin, our supervisor, our direct supervisor, he's a reference librarian here at ATD, is going to be doing some reviews for us as well and helping me keep up with my reading list.
Yes.
Because, let's be honest.
Also, I think we're going to be going to see the second movie of the Meg. And Beth Ann's read the book.
I have.
So,
The Trench. Meg the Trench. And it's here. So
we need to write like a co-review on that.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun. We should definitely do that. So get on there and check it out, guys. I really think you will like it. And then you can immediately see our star ratings on there. And if you prefer like reading like Samantha versus me or vice versa, then that's the place you're going to find more tailored reviews without coming and talking to us directly of things that you can pick up that are next without waiting on us to find something we agree on liking.
Yes.
So I think next thing that's going to come up, hopefully, is the Murderbot series by Martha Wells that I'm technically buddy reading with Justin, and I'm keeping up, which is shocking, but
you are.
If you like any kind of science fiction, fantasy, that book is also phenomenal, and I'm desperately in love with Murderbot. They are the most brilliant robot I've ever met in my life. I love it. So
yeah, I just also read A Soul of Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. It's book 5 of the From Blood and Ash series, and it's kind of like a retelling of like the events that happened in A Blood of Ash and A War of Two Queens, told by the view of Castile Denier instead of Poppy. Castile is like the love interest of the book. So I thought that was really, really good, and I thought it was cool how she did a book in his point of view, but made it not like word for word like the rest of the books. Like you got it was like its own book. It wasn't like copied from a different point of view.
Yeah, like it's unique to itself.
Yeah, you see a lot of like Castile's feelings, and then you get a lot of Kieran, which is the second male kind of lead character in the book. So I thought that was really good. I give that like a 4.3 out of 5. Because I normally don't pick up like the books that are told from like different points of views. You know, you have like the whole series, and then they're like, and now book 1 from this person's point of view, and I'm like, I don't want to reread.
Didn't they do that with Twilight and then Edward's point of view? They read the first book.
Yeah, they did.
Twilight.
I think that was Midnight Sun.
I brought it up. Now I have to link it in the description.
R.I.P.
Twilight.
And then another book that was referred to me by Trisha was The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, which is an author that is super blowing up right now. Everybody loves Frida. So this was about a girl that got a job as a housemaid for a husband and a wife, taking care of a small child, and there's a lot of craziness that's going on because, you know, you can tell throughout the whole book that there's some weird tension happening between the husband and the wife. And the wife the entire time just sounds so horrible. And there's like this huge crazy twist at the end. And you guys have to pick that up if you love Frida McFadden and you haven't read The Housemaid, pick up The Housemaid. There's also a sequel. I forget what it's called. I don't know. I forget what it's called, but it's a sequel.
Oh, it's like a red cover, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a red cover.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
People have very mixed reviews on the sequel. They say it's either better than The Housemaid or they like The Housemaid more. So it's like 50-50. I have not read it yet, but I did buy it. So I will be reading that soon after I get done with these 15 arcs that I've acquired. So yeah.
So many. And thank you to all of the publishing companies that are willing and indie authors that are willing to order and send us things to be able to review on the website and order for the library. We are very appreciative of you.
Yeah. I was very shocked that I got Assistant to the Villain because usually Red Tower is pretty picky about who they send copies out to. So
yes, and you'll be seeing a lot of reviews coming up. We've scheduled ourselves out so that we can start posting all these things and linking everything.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit gonna come from all of these different things, and hopefully an author interview or two pop up from having some arcs requested.
Yeah, I know we have one author interview, at least one more for 2023. We are going to have
Hannah Connor.
Hannah Kaner.
It's either Kaner or Connor.
Yeah.
She'll probably correct us, hopefully.
Author of God Killer,
which is chef's kiss. I swear you have to.
The cover is stunning.
Oh, dude, so good, so good.
The cover just gives me the vibes of Anne Freistat's book.
Oh, What We Harvest.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I don't know if it's gonna be like that kind of vibe.
No, it's a fantasy completely, but
yeah.
I think is it Ello is one of the main characters in the book. Elagast, I think, is his name. I'm actually not sure how you pronounce it. I'm gonna have to look up the actual audiobook.
Mm-hmm.
But he is my favorite. He's so wonderful, perfect in every single way. If you don't like him, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong. He's just like this awesome, like wholesome warrior. And it is just everything. So it's about, if you don't know what it's about, we've talked about it before, but it's about this main character who is a god killer, and her family used to worship the god of the sea, and her family was murdered by the god of fire, and she grows up missing a leg, seeking vengeance on gods killing them because they have been outlawed. And it's about her finding this young child who is tied to a god of lies. And I think his name is Skediseth, is his name.
Dang, big names.
Big names. But he's like a little jackalope kind of character.
Mm-hmm.
He's adorable. But she is trying to figure out how to separate them without killing them both. And she goes on this grand mission to try to figure that out. And I think that Elagast and her cross paths at some point. And they're going to this dead city that is the last city that is ruled by the gods. And it's pretty fantastic. It is definitely something that you should pick up if you're looking for a fantasy that is shorter, that you can get through without reading a slog of 1,500 pages. This is that. And it's going to be a series as well.
Yes. So next podcast episode, we will be reviewing People We Meet on Vacation and then the Tea Dragon Society. And we chose these books because we took a quiz.
Yes.
Saying which books should we read next, and those were our
recommendations.
So yes.
We'll tell you how we feel about that. You should go to bookriot.com, take that quiz, read that book, then email us at offthebooks@khcpl.org and tell us what you think about your results.
Yes, and that's on August 24th that you guys will hear that episode.
Yes.
And then after that, we have The Whispering Dead by Darcy Coates, which is releasing on September 7th, and that is kind of like, it's borderline a novella.
For Samantha.
Yeah. And I have started it. I'm on like chapter 3, and it's pretty good so far. It starts out a lot differently than like normal books start out. It's kind of starting out at like the climax. It's like you're just like kind of thrown into like
the fray,
the crazy action that's happening.
I'm very excited. I've had this on my TBR for a long time.
Yeah.
And then we also were able to acquire an arc of her newest book that's coming out that we're going to review, and we're going to talk about that in October. So
yes,
that'll be really awesome. We should have that for you to be able to, like I said, we got some things, man.
Yeah. So you guys got to
stay on
Stay
beat with
updated.
us. Yeah.
Listen in, and we will talk to you guys in the next coming weeks.
Time. So we'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.